How are you, little one? Are you feeling better? Are you feeling better, little friend? My little friend had surgery today on her mouth to remove a tumor in her mouth. Right, little one? But you seem to be feeling better. Now, we were a little worried. There you go. Because sometimes when you have tumors in there in your dog, they have to sometimes remove part of the jaw. And sometimes these tumors are cancerous. Our vet doesn't think it was. Our vet thinks it was benign. But we're not out of the woods yet. Have to wait a few days for some test results to get back. But so far things are going well with little Rhonda. So that's good. But that is not why I'm here. I am here because I've got a book haul today. Yes, a book haul. Which, now, I have been told by the lady of the manor that I already have more books than I'll ever read in my entire life. So that getting more books is just ridiculous. And so I said I wouldn't. But these books just magically appeared. They just appeared. Like by magic. There's this guy, he sometimes brings us our mail, and sometimes he just brings books too. I mean, what do you do if people just show up bringing books? What can you do? It's a little book haul. Sort of. So, let's get right to it, my friends. Now, the first two were not brought by the guy who brings the mail. The first two I got in one of those little free libraries close to my house. I've got a couple of those close to my house. And there's one that sometimes has some good stuff. Today it had one good thing and one trashy thing. I think it's trashy. We'll see. The good thing I got was an Agatha Christie book. I've been meaning to read more Agatha Christie, and I got Dead Man's Folly right here. It's kind of a cool old vintagey cover. So yeah, Dead Man's Folly, Agatha Christie. This is another Hercule Poirot novel, which I've intended to read more of, since Gina Stanier got me to read that last one. So yeah, I'm going to be reading this at some point in my existence. So there's that one. Now this one, it's okay to call this trashy because on the back it has a blurb that says, a trashy imaginative piece of cyberpunk. This is not something I would buy, but it was free. It's this silly looking book, Nylon Angel, by Marianne D. Perez. Perez? Perez. I don't know. It's this person. I have no idea. This book, who knows? But it does have a woman dressed in skin-tight leather, which is a look I like. So, yeah. I mean, I don't wear it often, but, you know, it looks good on other people. So, yes, Nylon Angel. I'm sure this is a winner. Steve Donahue's probably read it. I should ask him how it is. Also, in the free library was this book, Incognito, The Secret Lives of the Brain, by David Eagleman. That looks interesting. I like brains and their secret lives. So that should be cool. Didn't cost me a cent. It was free. I had to bring them home. I had no choice. They were free. So these are the ones that were just magically brought. They just magically appeared on my porch in cardboard boxes. And the first three, boy, it sure is convenient that I got these first three books since I'm doing a Read Every Book by Stephen King challenge. And so here are 3 books by Stephen King, old beat-up copies, which are the best kind. This is Firestarter by Stephen King. I don't know if this was the original cover. I seem to recall the background on the original cover being white. Tell me if I'm crazy, but I think it was. But anyway, I'll take it. It's old and beat up, so it's cool. It's the kind of Stephen King book you want. Firestarter was not my favorite Stephen King novel, but, you know, like most of these, I read this in the 80s or early 90s, so, you know, maybe my opinion will change. Probably not on this one, but we'll see. Then I got an extremely faded copy of Different Seasons. This I remember being as a good book. I remember this being good. So I look forward to reading this once again. Once I get to it, I'm reading them in publication order. And then the fantastic A.J. Dunn speaks highly of this next one, Cujo. Now, this is a book I remember not being impressed with at all, really. But our good friend, A.J. Dunn, gave a really, really positive review on this. So maybe my memory is just wrong. I won't know until I get to reading it, but I really look forward to reading it. So, Cujo by Stephen King. I like the cover on this one too. That's a pretty good one. I don't know how this one just magically showed up. This is an Oxford World's classic late Victorian Gothic tales. Look at that cool cover. Looks like a pretty good Oxford classic here. Late Victorian Gothic tales. Weird. This is just the kind of book I would buy, you know, if I were, you know, still buying books. So I'm glad it just sort of showed up on the porch all by itself. Now this next one, I don't know how this got here. I mean, it seems suspicious, this one right here. This is Greek Plays in Modern Translation, edited by Dudley Fitz. It's an old beat-up book. This seems kind of like a thing I would have bought at a used bookstore like Pegasus or something, if I were still doing that kind of thing. But I'm not. No, I'm not. I didn't buy this at Pegasus Books last weekend. I did not. I did not do that. I don't know how it got here. Who knows? What's in here anyway? What's in my Greek plays? I'll just... Antigone, Oedipus, Hippolytus, Medea, that's a good one. The Trojan Women, Electra, all kinds of good stuff in there. It was worth every penny. At least it would be if I had, you know, bought it or something. Okay, this next one is pretty cool. I saw this on Anne with the Books channel. Anne with the Book was doing a video on her oldest books, and she held up this particular book, Classic Myths by Herzberg. And it just looked awesome. And I said to myself, I want that book. I want it. Sadly, I'm not buying books anymore, but just like magic, it appeared. So Classical Myths, and this is even better than I thought it would be. So this was published in 1935, it looks like. It's from Rice Public Schools, apparently. This is a cool school volume, and on top of the chapters, they've got those really cool illustrations. This thing's full of just beautiful illustrations. This is a wonderful book, and I am so, I mean, just little illustrations everywhere. It's just so great. This is so great. And it's got fantastic end papers there. Excuse the fingers in front of the people there. I mean, just look how awesome this is. This is fantastic. So it's even better than I thought it would be from Anne with the Book's video. Pretty cool. Sure, I'm glad someone just sort of sent that to me. That was cool. Now, the next few books are independently published books by folks on the YouTube. It's Too Late to Apologize. Stella Telleria wrote a novel a few years ago called Across the Wire. It's a science fiction novel, apparently. I was taking a look at it. I read the first few pages, and it's pretty good. I kind of wanted to keep reading, but I'm reading something else, so I had to stop. But it looks pretty good, this one, Across the Wire. It's about this ex-Marine, and she travels to another dimension or something. As far as I can figure out. I haven't read it yet, but it looks pretty good. So Stella Telleria, that's her on the back. from It's Too Late to Apologize. It looks pretty good. I'm kind of looking forward to this, so I'm definitely going to read that at some point in the next couple months. And then there is this book, Talondors Guest. This is by Charles McGarry. So yeah, another great booktuber. Talondors Guest. I'll link all of their channels down below. And David at David's Book Reviews gave this a really good review. So yeah, Chaz's book, Talondors Guest. I'm actually looking forward to this since David spoke so highly of it on David's Book Reviews. So I'm going to enjoy reading that one. And this next one is a post-apocalyptic book. What Branches Grow by T.S. Beer. Is it Beer? B-E-I-E-R. Beer. T.S. Beer wrote this book, What Branches Grow. I think her channel is called Sound and Fury or something along those lines. I'll link it down below so you can go check that out. But yeah, What Branches Grow. This is apparently a good book. It looks kind of good. Post-apocalyptic novel. So that looks like a pretty good one. Now I've got some epic collections. You know, every Wednesday I do my Epic Marvel Wednesday. It's my World's Finest Team Up with Steve Donahue. And I get epics that just sort of magically show up here all the time. Who knows? Doctor Strange might be involved in all of this magical books showing up business. Now the first one I don't really need at all, and the only reason I got it is because I have the other two epics in this line. I have all of these in omnibuses, so I really didn't need this, but I got it anyway, and that would be Conan Volume 3, The Curse of the Golden Skull. I did a video on the first two volumes. The third volume is pretty cool because this is the one where Big John Buscema shows up and starts drawing Conan. Now, Big John Buscema is, his Conan is the Conan I see in my brain whenever I read Conan. To me, his Conan is Conan. That guy right there. This fella right there. Although I think that's Gil Kane. Oh well, Gil Kane's in here too. So that's the one. And another epic collection, Star Wars, the Original Marvel Years, Volume 5. Collecting all the Marvel years of Star Wars, the comics that came out when I was a young lad. They were very strange, Marvel's Star Wars comics. They were a little oddball, these comics. Steve Donahue doesn't know this, but sometime within the next couple months, I'm going to sneak in the first volume of this in our Epic Marvel Wednesdays. He's not a huge Star Wars fan, and I can't imagine he's a big fan of these comics, so his head will probably explode, but I am going to sneak it in there, just for fun. Don't worry, he's not watching, so he'll still be surprised. Shh, don't tell Steve. Probably in about 3 or 4 weeks, maybe next month, I'll sneak a Star Wars epic collection in there, just so his head explodes. That'll be fun, good times. The next is a very interesting period in Captain America's life. This is Captain America Volume 14, The Captain. This is when the U.S. government says, you know what, you got to do what we say, Captain America. We made you and we can tell you who's boss. And he says, you know what, screw you guys. I'm not going to let you government types tell me what to do. I'm going to become the captain. And so then he did. He dropped the Captain America name and just went solo. And of course the government had to go and make their own Captain America. This story was very influential. As anyone who watches Apple TV Marvel shows, I guess, knows. I heard a rumor that this guy shows up in that, I think. I think that's how it went. I haven't watched it. I'm behind on my Marvel viewing. But this is Volume 14, 1987 through 1989. I remember this being a really weird period. Captain America had some weird years right around here. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that. This one I've been waiting forever for. This is the last book, and it's another epic collection, of course. The Punisher, Volume 4, Return to Big Nothing. Now, you wouldn't think I'd be the type to like a character like the Punisher, but I do. I have to admit, I do like the Punisher. He's not really a hero. He's probably too bad to even be an anti-hero, but I do like him for what he is. I mean, just look at the guy. Pretty awesome. So yeah, The Punisher, Volume 4. This is from 1989 through 1990. Prime Punisher time. And the Punisher volumes are great because Marvel Comics didn't just do the Punisher comic books. They also had a line of Marvel graphic novels. And a lot of those started the Punisher because he's just the best character just for like an indie one-shot story. He's just like the perfect kind of macho adventure character. And so they used to make these Marvel graphic novels, which were just longer one-shot stories. The formatting's a little odd. You get a lot of empty white space at the bottom. But it's awesome that Marvel is reprinting this stuff. I mean, they've got a ton of stuff that hasn't been reprinted for a long time. So, and they don't publish Punisher epic collections very often. Maybe one a year, maybe two. Nah, I don't even think that. So it's nice to get one. It'll take forever to get all of the epics in Punisher. I will be 90 by the time that happens. So yeah. Oh, hold on a second. And so my little friend here wants to thank you for all of your well wishes and thoughts for her health. We're still crossing our fingers that all the tests come back cancer-free for my little friend. But she was very happy when she read all of your comments from the last video. So thanks, guys, and I will catch you next time.